Okay, so this is the Sugar on the Go Mobile Settings Made Easy. This is week 4 in the Sugar Cell Foundations webinar series. So we've had 3 other presentations before that. I know you can count, so I don't have to tell you that there's 3. But there are, and they will be linked in the email that you get after this class. So after this webinar. So last week I said that I would email about 2 hours afterwards. Our marketing team sent it on the Thursday afterwards. So the recording, all the subs today, including the handout and the answers to the handout, are going to come by Thursday, sometime on Thursday, my time. So I'm in Central United States, Central Standard Time. Just so you can expect that. Now, I'm going to also add the handout I just added into chat for everybody to have access to, and I'll do it one more time just for those of you that came in a little bit later. That is okay. So get a little bit of time to load. And at the end, I'll give you the answers. Now, this handout is a little bit different in that I've given you an answer bank for a group of the fill in the blanks because this one is a little bit more complicated. I stepped it up a little bit. So you'll have to kind of listen to what we're saying and then come up with what the answer should be for that particular blank area. Okay. I will be giving you the answers. So if you don't want to fill things in, that's fine. You can use the filled in answer sheet afterwards. And then you'll have a job aid for this particular presentation. Okay. So, let's get started. I'm Andrea Ayers. Before I get to introduce myself, I've been with Sugar for 16 years. I'm a senior product trainer, instructional designer. I've been with Sugar since we were way back at 5.0. And now I know this sounds like a long ways, but we're at 25.2. But we skipped a few there in the middle from 14 to 25 because we went to years instead of versions like we did before, so many versions a year. Okay, so this will go into, by the way, this series will go into February, I think, the third, is that right? The third week of February, I think, or the second week, something like that. I'll verify that when we get to the end of the presentation. But you will get the next few webinars in the email that you get from our marketing team on Thursday. Okay, so in this session, we're going to talk about why mobile CRM matters. Why just generically, not our Sugar mobile app, but just why is this important? And specifically, why is it important for your sales team? Then we're going to talk about getting started with Sugar mobile just generically, like this is Sugar Mobile. This is why you'd want to use it. This is the things that you can do within it. And I'm going to show you 2 parts to that. I'm going to show you the actual application itself, what it looks like on your, what it would look like on a phone. And then I'm going to show you the admin side quickly so you can kind of see how it's set up. So if I change something in the admin, how that changes in the app and what it looks like when I even change it to the end user. Will they see anything different? And yes, they will. And then how Sugar Mobile fits into your selling workflow, best practices, just to make it more efficient, and then some real world mobile selling use cases, why you'd use it, when you would use it, how you would use it. Okay. So let's start off with the why. Why is it this important? And for most of you, I think you probably know the why. Oh, thank you so much, Keegan. This is going to go until February 10th. That's the final webinar. Thank you. So most of you know why. Most of you use your phones all the time, but just so that we are on the same page here. Reality of modern selling is sales happens between meetings, right? So I'm going into one meeting, I need to be prepared for it. After I exit that meeting, I need to be prepared for the next one. How do I log the information that I just had? Sales deals are going to go real fast, right? So sometimes they are happening away from your desktop or even your tablet version of Sugar. So if you don't use mobile, in any form or fashion, you're going to lose a lot of context and forgotten emails, forgotten details, inaccurate pipelines and forecasting because we're missing that information, which means that the pipelines are also going to be missing that information. You're going to miss follow-ups and you're going to have some slower responses out there. So how Sugar Mobile solves these challenges. So it's helping you capture information while it's fresh on your mind, right? It's fresh on the sales rep's mind and they can instantly go in and start making those changes. Helps you stay responsive to customers and teammates, makes faster, more informative decisions, and it fits in. It's not a place replacement of your desktop version, right? There is a time and place for that, and we're going to talk about when you flip between one versus the other a little later in the presentation, but it doesn't replace it. It's a way to quickly add data into the system, into Sugar, let's call it, right? You have two, three avenues into that. You can go from your tablet in your phone or on your laptop or computer that you have in your office. It's designed for speed, so it's supposed to be a very fast way to use it. It uses a lot of the same kind of apps that you're using right now, functionality. When you see a 3-bar, that's a menu. If you go to a website on your phone, it has the 3-bar, it's the menu. You know, those kind of icons will be very similar. But it's just a part of the whole Sugar ecosystem, how you can connect with it. Just like the portal, if you ever use the portal version for your support side or even for sales, it's just another part of that. So getting started. So what is Sugar Mobile? So if you've never ever used it, you have no clue of what this is, you're brand new to Sugar, it's just our app version of Sugar. It's your view into Sugar, um, with things that you can interact with, right? You can add activities. We talked about activities last week, calls, meetings, notes, tasks, emails, any of those things. You can also add those into Sugar. It even has map coordinates. You can generate documents if you have templates already done. If you have saved searches within Sugar, you can use those saved searches also within your mobile app. And it uses the native mobile app experience. So things that you are normally familiar with in other apps will be very similar in Sugar. And it helps you optimize your sales productivity when you're on the go. So it's on, uh, the app itself is available not only on the phone, but you can use it on the tablet. I would not recommend, this is my personal view, using the app on the tablet. I would just use the regular browser version that you use on your desktop, mainly because you can see more, right? You have more real estate on your screen. So why limit yourself to the view of a app when you can actually just go into the browser and see it better? Now, if you do not have internet access at a particular time, then yes, you can use it on the tablet too, because it does have a offline version. And we'll talk about that when we get into the admin side. It also is a device or a way to log in and sync your data, right? So if you happen to be offline when you're using it, next time you come back online, it will sync that information back to Sugar. And it has the same security and permissions that Sugar does, your desktop version, meaning that, or the browser version, meaning that if you're not allowed to see a particular module in the browser version, then you're not able to see that information in your app either, right? It's based on your user name and your credentials of logging on. So if that user, which is you, for example, if you don't have access to, let's say, the task module, or you can't delete task, then you won't be able to delete task within the mobile app either. Okay. So here's a little example. It's going to go in and show you. You're first going to have to connect Sugar to your browser link, like whatever the name of ours is. Mine happened to be here is Baron Dove, which is a horrible name, but that's the name of it. And I have to put that in, then I have to log on as Chris. And I can go in and do several things within this. After I log on with my same credentials, it's going to load up and it's going to give me a main menu. And I have all the same dashboards that I have in the previous, in my desktop version of Sugar and the modules that I have access to. Now, the modules may be slightly different because the admin can change those, right? I'm going to show you how to do that in just a minute. But you can do keyword searches. You can find records. Once you find them, you can use the action menus inside the record itself to add things like, I want to put a quick call in. I can click the call button. It can call somebody. After the call's over, then I can log the information. It asks me with a pop-up. It's like, are you sure? Do you want to log this particular record? Yes. And then you put that particular call in. Okay. So let me see if this will work. I'm going to go into my share version here. Just one second. This crashed a while ago. This was part of my delay. Here we go. Okay. One moment. Here we go. Okay, so this is actually from my actual phone, and this is a connection to one of our training instances. So I can go into this main menu at the top left-hand corner, and it gives my name. I'm logged in as Chris. Gives me my dashboards, all the ones that I have clicked favorite on or that were given to me out of the box, all the modules that I have access to, and at the very bottom, I can log out. If I click off to the right, it gives me the same menu that I had the most recently viewed. I can do a search. So let's say if I want to search by Linda, and there, see how many records come up. There she is, Linda Holiday, her contact record. I can go in and click the phone. So it's going to pretend like it's going to call. So I don't really want to make a call, but I'll show you what it looks like. Okay. So it goes to, yes, let's call her mobile. Just going to pretend like we've talked and hung up. And then it says, would you like to log the last call? I'm going to say yes, goes right to a call record, right? In that call record, I can change the name. It's going to say call with Linda, right? That's not very helpful. Okay. So I'm going to write in what we actually, what was this about? So this was to review quote sent yesterday. Okay. And then however long that particular meeting may be. Say 10 is fine, 10, but we started at 10 o'clock set. And we talked for about 30 minutes. And it was outbound, meaning I called her and the status is held. It already made it that decision. And then I'm going to put in the body, or in this case, it's called imitation body. I can change the name of that, what we talked about. Okay. So, and then done, and then save. And that record is now connected to this particular contact. So let me go back to the contact. If I go to related over here to the far right and underneath calls, my call is right there at the very top, this one. Okay, makes sense? All right, so let me show you a little bit about the back end of that. All right, what that looks like from an admin. There's two areas that an admin can configure the mobile app. And one of them is the on the admin pages underneath the systems panel. So this very first panel up here at the top, let me put my annotations back on here. And it's right here, mobile. There it is, right there, okay? So I'm going to click on that. And this is simply, do we want to have the module available in Sugar? Yes or no? What modules do we want to be able to see or not see? So if I go over here to the left-hand side, I can start dragging this out. Now this is for everybody, right? This is an admin functionality. This is something that everybody is going to be limited by. So whatever I take out, I drag over and let go into the disabled module. That module will no longer be available in enabled modules on the mobile device. Okay, so whatever those are. So say we're not going to do document templates or DocuSign. Okay, so I'm going to scoot them over to the disabled module section. And also I want to talk about this offline enabled. So it is not checked by default. Okay, so as an admin, you have to actually go in and check that box to allow your users to use the app in an offline mode, meaning they're in airplane mode, fly into a new customer site. They turn their airplane mode on. So obviously they don't have Wi-Fi, but they still can access the records that have already been cached on their particular phone and access them and put new records in. As soon as they're back online, it will sync back up. Okay, so that's one simple thing. Easy, right? A check mark box and some drag in and drop in. That's pretty easy. The next thing is the actual layout of a particular page within Sugar. So that is in a different location. So to change a layout, just like you do in the desktop version, you do that in Studio. Well, you're going to do that in Studio for mobile also. You're going to go down here to the Developer Tools panel, right below Systems panel, Developer Tools, and the very first option is Studio. Okay, I'm going to make this just a tiny bit bigger. Your view, let's zoom in a little bit. Okay, so we're going to go into Studio. And let's say, for example, we want to change the contact mobile view. So we're going to go into Contacts here, and you can go on the left side too, but I'm just going to show you with the icons. There are layouts, and then there are mobile layouts. Okay, so we're going to go into the mobile layouts. And I think a lot of times people forget this. Admins forget to do the mobile side. And then there's all these fields that nobody's using. Why are they in the mobile app? Well, they just never have been removed, right? So we give you a default layout for mobile. Now notice you don't have two columns. You have one column because you're talking about a smaller real estate, smaller screen, and they're just stacked on top of each other. If I want to add a new field into my layout, so let's say I wanted to add this assistant and assistant phone number, these two fields here. Okay, I have to first give it a place to reside. So I'm going to put these a little bit higher. I'm going to put it right. I'm going to take out home first of all. Let me move that over there. Put my cursor right over the recycle bin, and I'm going to put in assistant. So I want to know their assistant's phone number, their admin, and then their assistant's phone and name. Okay. And if I want to be real fancy, I can also add like their birth date if that's important to me. And then save and deploy. Now, the next time I go into the app, it's going to basically say, hey, there's been a change on this page. We're going to show you that page. Just click OK, and it will show you then the new view of it. The next time people log on, it will automatically show them the new view of that particular layout if they're already using it when you give it to them, right? If they're not, nobody's using it, right? You can make all the changes you want, and then the first time they log on, it will look all fancy and brand new, right? Like it should be. Now, one thing with the layouts for mobile is it treats them like they're a legacy module. And what I mean by that is there is a separate view for edit versus detail. Detail is the read-only view. So when you're just looking at a record, that's the detail. When you click edit in the action menu, then you'll see the edit module. So if I wanted to add those same fields here, I could go just same way, right? I'm going to take out home, and then I'm going to go down here at the very bottom, and I'm going to add 3 rows in. I can put them where the other one was, but it doesn't really matter. It's probably better that they are in the same place, but you get the idea. So I'm going to put assistant phone, assistant, and birth date, like that, and then save and deploy. Save just saves it in Sugar. Save and deploy saves it in Sugar, in Studio, and also deploys it out to any users that may be using it at that time. Okay, so if I go back into, oh wait, let me do one other layout, and that's the list view. So when you go into, say, contacts, and it gives you the big long list of contacts, these are the fields that it sees. So let's say if I wanted to add their department, I could scoot that over there from available. Available means these are additional fields if they want to use them. They don't have to, like it won't be there by default, but they can also see them in the list. Okay, save and deploy. And then when I go back into my browser and I want to go backwards, whoops, sorry, not that. I'm using my actual phone. And you see that warning? It just says the admin has made configuration changes in your instance. Press OK to sync. There's no not OK, right? So you don't have a choice but to click OK. As soon as you click OK, oh, I turned on offline too. That's fine. In the new layout for this record, let me just look at it normally. it now has the assistant phone number, and birth date. In the detail view, see how it's down at the bottom? So what I wanted to show you is when I go into edit, it's going to show me a different layout because that's the way I put it in as edit. I put them up higher on the screen, assistant phone number, and birth date there. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. So configuration for mobile is really easy if you already know how to use Studio, right? If you don't know how to use Studio, we have an admin class coming up next month. I'm going to do a quick plug for it real quick. And we cover how to do layouts, all kinds of layouts, add new fields, add those fields to layouts, etc. in that admin class. If you're interested, that is also on Sugar Club. Just put in Sugar Admin Fundamentals. That's the name of the class. And it will find for you that particular link. Okay. All right. So let's go back to the slides here. Okay, so you're working on a smaller screen. So how do you do that more smartly? That's not a nice way to say that. So mobile helps you focus on exactly what you need, right? You want the layout to be exactly the fields that they need, no more, no less, right? We want to keep them very focused on the things that are the most important that they need to see. So you're going to have a limited real estate of screen that you can see. So it's going to be those high value, quick actions that you can make right away. It's going to have key actions that you should do in mobile. First, you should be able to view the contacts and accounts. Check on those opportunity statuses, right? Update that next step field. That's important stuff, right? I had this call with this person. I went and met with this person. Whatever happened, right? Even if it was just an email, you're going to update next steps every time. Things change as you communicate with your customer. You're going to log calls and meetings and notes. You may even create tasks and send those to people. Those things are going to be done in your mobile app. Very quick actions. You're going to making the most out of those quick actions. Use recent records and favorites. So those recently viewed records and favorite records, filters are already in Sugar. All you have to do is select them and they'll come up. If you have records marked as your favorite in the browser version, they will be your favorite in the mobile. Okay, same. So using those as are very helpful, but also those save searches. So if you do the same searches over and over and over on contacts, accounts, opportunities, leads, save them in your save them in your browser version, and then they can quickly be accessed in your mobile searches also. Mobile is supposed to reduce clicks and scrolling. There's not as much of that. Of course, scrolling is a lot easier on a phone than it is necessarily on a browser version, but it's still supposed to reduce those. Best practices are keep notes concise. Like don't write a book, right? Or like the next bullet says, a transcript. We don't need a play-by-play of everything that happened within the call. We need the most important and actionable things in your notes. So capture those outcomes, like what is the next steps? I need to schedule a follow-up demo. I need to invite these 5 people to it. They're ready to have a quote. We need to discuss review the quote details. I need to find out who the decision makers are, things like that that are going to get you to the next step in your sales cycle. Use mobile to record insights immediately. Okay. If you're one of those people that waits till the end of the day to put everything in, if you've ever noticed the things that you put closest to the end of the day, like the things that just happened, you write a book, right? And the things from the morning, you're like, I remember 2 things, right? So do it as you go. We're going to hit that hard as we go through the rest of this material. So let's talk about when you use mobile, when you use the desktop, okay? So choosing the right tool. So use mobile when you need to do real-time updates after a meeting. You just discussed these 5 things, put those 5 things into mobile. Call notes and activity logging, quick visibility into accounts and opportunities. I just need to check this real quick before I go into this meeting, right? Did we talk about this, or is that another customer? So you don't get confused. You're going to need to switch over to the desktop or the tablet version so you can see it in the browser when you want to see more detailed analysis, right? I'm going to show you that you can see reports inside the mobile device, but you're going to see very quickly the difference between the two, right? Like when you see a report in the desktop version or the browser, you can see a lot of data at one point. You cannot see all of that in one view in a little small real estate on your screen on your mobile phone. Anything that's complex, like complex opportunity updates, you need to add lots of records or link lots of records together. Do that in the browser version also. Or you need a deep pipeline review, right? If you need to do stuff like that, then you need to do that in the tablet. We want to create a seamless workflow. So start on the mobile, finish on the desktop. Ensure data is always current, and it helps with that current when you put it into mobile, and avoid duplicates or missing updates. Try, and I know that's not as not as easy as me just saying those words. Those that can be difficult. So before you ever put a new record in Sugar, besides a call you just did, if it's a new contact, a new lead, something like that, make sure first you do a search that that record is not already within the system, so we don't cause those duplicates to happen. Okay, so what does this mean to leadership? So say you're a manager, you're not a frontline road warrior out there doing calls to customers. And how is the run the business operations? What does that look like within the system? So for leadership, leaders need visibility anytime, anywhere. And yes, they can use mobile to do that, right? They can see some things very quickly if they also are out there working, or I'm going to work half day from home, or I'm remote today. You can see those on the mobile device too. And it's real-time data as long as you have access to the internet to get that real-time data unless you're offline, but when you soon as you sync up, you'll have access to it. And for users, it's the ability to check opportunity statuses before a meeting. You need to review deal progress very quickly, like where are we on this one? I can't really remember, especially if there's a team of you working on it. I mean, it helps you just stay aligned with team performance. So I can quickly see where is this particular opportunity in the whole scheme of all of my pipeline or within my pipeline for my entire sales team, especially if we're all, trying to go towards one particular goal. So you can, I mentioned earlier that you can see reports inside of Sugar. It's just a module that you have access to on your main menu, and you can open up a report and go to that particular report's chart. So as you see, it's very, very tiny. And yes, I can scroll over all those colors and it can tell me more specifics, but I can switch between reports and see things very easily and understand what's happening right now, not later. And sometimes you need that report before you go into the meeting because there's something important about it that is going to affect what you're going to say to that particular customer. Okay, gives you a little bit more insight very quickly. Mobile for meeting prep. Okay, so some people just use mobile afterwards. I use it before, in the middle of two meetings, and afterwards. Sometimes I may even be, we just finished talking, they're walking away, I'm starting to update that particular record. Or if I don't do that, I have to write myself a note because I have a horrible memory. So this is great for beforehand, right? You're going to review the account details before you walk in. You're going to see any additional interactions, whether they're not necessarily from you. It could be from somebody else on your team that have interacted with them, and being ready to be ready without opening your laptop up, right? Then there's supporting to run the business. So we want to have consistent updates to drive accurate forecasting. Mobile usage needs to improve operational rhythm. So we have that same interaction every time with our customers. And we have better data that equals better leadership conversations, means better forecasting, means better reports. It means a lot of things, right? But specifically when it comes to leadership, we want to make sure they have the right information so they can help their employees or subordinates so that they can become better deal closers using the mobile app. Okay, so here are some real world mobile setting use cases. Okay, so between meetings, remember, like I said, you're going to use it before, after, whenever. Um, when can you use it? So I have a quick question in chat about is Sugar Mobile included with SugarCell? So yes, it is. It's included in with all of our products, right? You can put your um, .com, whatever it is in your browser, into the mobile app when you download it in the Apple Store or the Google Store, and be able to log on, put your URL in there, and then put your same username and password, and you should have access to Sugar. It comes with Sugar. Okay, good question. So this helps between meetings to check account meetings, like what's the next one I need to get ready for, or do I have two more coming up, or do I need to drive across town before I put the other one in? Complete the notes from the last meeting, review any open opportunities that need some action right now, and prepare for the next conversation. Then after, that totally covers up after the meeting, we want to record next steps. We want to call, sorry, we want to log call notes with any details that are fresh on our mind. We want to update the opportunity stages and maybe next steps. And then we need to check for missing calls so you can call them back, right? And right there within the app, you can click on their link and it will automatically ask you if you want to put that call in like we demoed earlier. Before you leave the parking lot, right? So let's say this is the second meeting's over. You want to capture those last updates. It should take under 2 minutes to do. Ensure the CRM stays current, and that will reduce all those end of day admin things that you feel like you got to spend. Oh, I got to spend another hour just putting all this stuff into Sugar. So if you write them down on paper and then transfer them, if that's the way you work, fine. Best practice is to do it immediately afterwards so that if anything else comes up that's in, oh yeah, forgot, we also talked about this additional thing, you can go ahead and add that into the notes also. Not only that, but your boss will be able to see it immediately afterwards too. So they may want to know, how did that meeting go that Joe did? Well, I can go and look and see that call and the notes that came from the call. Any other updates that Joe may have done on the opportunity, I can see that they've all been updated on time, real time within the application. So just some small actions can have some big impacts within Sugar. And those small actions are those actions that you can do, for example, in Sugar Mobile. So it's going to affect how consistent mobile usage compounds over time. More people putting stuff into the system, the more things that you'll be able to predict for the future. Cleaner data means better forecast and faster deals within the system. Okay. So just some best practices and some adoption. And let me check chat real quick here. Okay, so someone's having some problem with actually adding it into your instance. So let me give you a little advice. So make sure when you're putting your URL in that you start with HTTPS, right? Start from the very beginning. Don't start with just the name. Put the whole thing in, and also make sure that you have spelt the password correctly as you type, right? In our little demo version, it's easy for me to do because it's the same as the username, but for yours, you may have a more complex username. It should work. Also check with someone else at your organization that they can access it. If they can, then it's either one of those three things, your username, your password, or the URL is incorrect. Okay, good question. Okay, so just a few more best practices and adoption tips. This is for you and your team to start using Sugar. So start very simple. Okay, so start with say, okay, in our sales meeting today, we're going to focus on adding 2 to 3 core mobile actions every day into the mobile app. Easy peasy, right? It should take less than 10 minutes for you to do that. Start building those habits around quick updates. Then you want to start driving that adoption. So start setting up clear expectations of when you want your users to start using the mobile app. Reinforce it. Did you update as you go? Do you have that culture in your organization? Lead by example. Are you actually using the mobile app yourself? avoid some common pitfalls trying to do everything on the mobile app. You don't have to do everything, and you don't have to log every single word either. Also, waiting too long to update the CRM could affect things down the pipeline. It's going to possibly affect your opportunity, which is going to lead to that opportunity is going to show up on dashboards and dashlets and reports, etc. So try to avoid waiting too long to update it. And you some other pitfalls are overloading the mobile workflows. So that just seems that's just like a bottleneck, right? You are putting a lot of stuff in all at one time, and it's going to be updating all of that stuff all at one time. Sometimes the fields that you are filling in trigger workflows, actual workflows, Sugar BPM workflows in the system. So that's why if you did it on time, it would have triggered effectively those dates. Maybe I put this in and it has this value. I need to create a follow-up call in 2 days. Well, if you don't enter it until 2 days, then it is going to affect that workflow down the line too. Okay. So here are just some key takeaways. These are some things I'd like you to do. I'd like everybody to go in if you don't have it already, whether you have an Android or Apple phone. By the way, mine's a Android phone, so it might look slightly different if you're looking at it in Apple. Download it from the Apple Store, then open it up and put your credentials in, right? And username and password's what I mean by that. After you put your URL and the username and password, and it's going to go to a recently viewed first page. Well, it will be blank because you haven't recently viewed anything. So there's a little um, magnifying glass, I forgot the name of it for a second, up in the top right-hand corner. You can click on that and do a search. Start real easy, right? You're going to be doing searches all the time. That should be one of your top mobile use cases. Search for a record. Once you find a record, if you know that it needs to be updated, go to that particular record, click on it, and use the action menu to edit it, right? Start capturing real updates in real time. So you may have something that you actually need to update in Sugar. Do it in the mobile app. Just start getting used to using it, and that will help not only spread the word about mobile. Hey, it actually works, and these are things I use it for. I use it every single day, and these are the top 3 things I use it for. Share that within your next sales meeting. Okay. All right. I got another couple of questions. Let me check through them real quick. So this person is a manager and they want to know what kind of things they can see inside of the mobile app. So first of all, you can see your pipeline. You can also see all the dashlets. Let me take that back. You can see most of the dashlets that are in the dashboards that were out of the box in the mobile app also, which means you can inside those dashlets and inside of doing searches and even reports, deal statuses, any activity that your team is doing or not doing. Like, for example, if you created a dashlet that said these are all the opportunities that have no value in the next step, that's something you may need to check with those particular users. So there's lots of things that you can see. I would say almost everything you can see within the browser, you can see within the mobile app for a manager. Okay. What's the most common use of mobile? So I would say the most common use of mobile is call notes and just notes in general. If whether the notes in a meeting, whether it's in a call, whether it's the notes module itself, maybe follow-up task. So they're all, I would say the most common things are activities, calls, meetings, notes, task. Emails too, you can do emails from inside and archive them into Sugar. And that's using that archive functionality. You could just use your phone and email somebody and then put that archive email that your admin gives you into the CC line of the email and it will archive into Sugar, but that's kind of externally to the app. So calls, meetings, notes, and tasks, I would say, are the most common. How do you encourage users? So I, th I know this sounds so simple and it's easier said than done, I know. Start small, right? Focus on just a few things. So this week, I want everybody to enter the one call record into the mobile app rather than the desktop. Okay. Next week, I want you to enter all your calls that you have into the mobile app. And one thing about the mobile app that I like is that I can just turn the microphone on and talk into it, right? Unless you're going to, talk, put a whole book in there, I don't recommend that. But be precise. These are the 5 things we talked about. This is my next steps, right? Start small with them and give them little tidbits like that. Use your microphone to put the notes in yourself. Okay, let me go finish up, and if I have time for some more questions, I will answer those when we get to them, okay? I'm going to put these links now, just like before. I know there's some of you, and I don't know what the circumstances is or why, can't access or click on the links inside of the chat. So these are all of the links that are on the resource page, and these will also be sent to you afterwards, okay? So probably by Thursday, I'm just going to say by Thursday from our marketing team. So these are resources for additional information. I even put in the link to the offline functionality, the whole mobile app user guide, and then the last two are the admin 2 functions that I demonstrated for you, okay? Also, the link to the next 3 presentations. Okay, so here are next week, which is about sugar BPM or sugar workflows, we'll just call it that. And then sales mastery, driving growth within sugar. And then the next one would be on building actionable dashboards. So there's one right after that, which is reports. So there's actually 4 left, but these are just the next 3. I'm going to also put these, which you will also get on Thursday, by Thursday, into chat. So just bookmark them for later or just pull them up and you'll have them. You'll get them later, but I just wanted to make sure you have them now too. So make sure that you register if you have not already registered for the upcoming sessions also, or send it to someone else in your organization. These are free. Anybody could attend them to make sure everybody gets the same information, or you can send the recording to them afterwards too. Okay. So before I end, I want to also add in, for those of you that actually were doing the handout, showing that it's disconnected. Just one second. Okay, let's see if this will go now. Oh, of course, it's not going. It's saying network disconnected. So I'm going to um, also send the answers out. I'll also put the answers right up here just so you can see it. Let me see if I can even open it. Nope. Okay, no big deal. I'll send those answers to you, or marketing will send those answers to you by Thursday. Okay. Hopefully, by giving you the little answer bank over to the side, that helps and you can fill those in yourself. But I can send those out afterwards too, just so you can have those real quick. I may do that before Thursday. Okay, y'all have any other questions you want to ask? Now's the time to do it. We have plenty of time here at the end. If not, we'll wrap it up. Okay, let me know if you have any other question. Okay, here's something else. Somebody said, "Isn't mobile CRM just more admin work for reps?" I don't think so. I think it is just another tool. It's just another way to enter it into the system. And I think it's actually faster because there's lots of tools that your phone has that you don't have to type as much in the mobile app. It does a lot of things for you already. It's actually less work, I think, than putting it in on the desktop version. Okay. If you do use a tablet and you use the browser version, it will have some of the same functions, like you can use the microphone and things like that to fill in note sections or subject lines, things like that, that may make that go a lot faster too. I have a friend of mine that uses it for the microphone for everything. So, and her life goes a lot faster than mine does because my typing, it takes forever. So, but if you use tools like that that come native with your device, it may make those faster. Okay, I don't see any other questions. We're going to go ahead and wrap up the recording, along with the handouts and answer sheet, along with the resources and the slides. copy of the slides will be sent out between now and Thursday. We're going to have to create the page in Sugar Club that all this stuff is going to be housed at, and then those links will be sent to you from marketing. So look for those again, just like you did last week, in your inbox. If for some reason they're not, check your junk and make sure that it is that you can move it over into and that it's a safe person to receive email from. So the ones in the future you can continue to get. Okay, y'all have a great rest of your day. You get a few minutes back. How wonderful is that? Thanks for using Sugar Mobile and hope y'all are going to start using it on the go. All right. Thanks for attending. Bye-bye.